Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. We're really excited to talk with you today about creating excellent job postings. Let's cover a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you're having any technical or sound issues, please go to contact GoToWebinar at the link shown on your screen, or you can give them a call at 1-877-582-7011. Everyone has joined the webinar in listen-only mode, which means that the audience is muted. So whenever you have a question, please type it into the questions window in the control panel. If you'd like to receive or review this webinar later, a recording will be posted on our website, scitechmn.org, and we'll also send a follow-up email with a link to the recording tomorrow. My name is Becky Siekmeier, and I'm the director of the SciTech internship program. SciTech connects college students in STEM majors with internships in small Minnesota companies. In addition to helping employers find great talent, SciTech provides a reimbursement that covers 50% of an intern's wages, up to $2,500. It's a state-funded program, and it's free for both students and employers. You can learn more on our website at scitechmn.org. My co-host today is Carole Burton of Radiance Resources. Thanks so much for joining me today, Carole. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Radiance Resources?
Thanks, Becky. Well, Radiance Resources helps mid-level managers systematize processes and programs. We help improve strategic agility planning while elevating leaders' growth. For more information, you can visit our website, radianceresources.org.
All right. Well, to get us started today, it would be really helpful for us to know who is with us. So we're going to take just a couple of seconds here for a poll. And our question is, which of these titles best describes your role in your organization? Are you at C-suite level, administrative support, human resources, a hiring manager, or maybe you're in a different role? And we'll keep the poll open for just a few seconds, about 10 seconds. So please respond now, and we'll give the results here in just a few seconds. All right, again, C-suite, admin support, HR, hiring manager, or something else. All right, we're going to go ahead and close the poll and share the results. Thanks for participating. It looks like wow, most of you are human resources personnel, so now it's a little daunting. We better perform well and help you learn some new information. All right, thanks for doing that. Very good. Okay, so why are job postings so important? It's because quite often for small organizations, the job posting is the first time a potential candidate is introduced to your company, and you want to make a good first impression. In a tight labor market, students and adult workers both have lots of options, so you want to stand out and be memorable for all the right reasons. For companies, job postings define the company's needs internally. It's going to help you answer the question, what exactly do we need? It'll help you define the day-to-day activities of the person, and it's going to set expectations for staff who will be interacting with that person. For the candidate, the posting is helpful in determining whether or not the work is going to be interesting. Are their skills applicable to the job, and can they learn something new from this internship or job? It also helps them assess what the learning curve will be. Job postings are a way to sell your company to applicants, so it should be thought of as a branding tool. What value do you add for the candidate? This is a crucial thing to be able to spell out for small companies, especially because you're competing with larger companies for the same talent. And those larger companies already have an established brand and presence. You need to work in your company's personality to the job posting and be engaging. You want candidates, by the time they're done reading your posting, to be really excited about your company, have a clear idea of what it would be like to work there, and can't wait to learn more. It's easy to miss the mark on job postings. Some of the common mistakes I see on the SciTech job board are the job title is really generic, and this makes it really hard for candidates to search the job board. There's little or no description of the company or its culture. The list of duties includes acronyms or lingo that really isn't going to be familiar to candidates, especially students. And the requirements listed include competencies that really are more appropriate for seasoned professionals. It sort of looks like somebody picked up a description for a full-time position and used it for an internship posting. Sometimes things also use language that come across as code words that can be a turnoff for women, people of color, people with disabilities, or older applicants. And sometimes the description doesn't tell someone how the position will be mutually beneficial. What will this person do or give, and what will they get in return? So today we're going to cover the essential anatomy of a job posting. When we're done, you should have lots of helpful tips, examples, and great resources to learn more. We're going to cover the basics, job titles, company descriptions, job duties, requirements for the position, instructions on how to apply, and through it all, how to use language that attracts a talented and diverse pool of candidates. So before we dig in, I have another question for you. Take another quick, no, not a poll, sorry. Have you ever posted a job and didn't get any or many applicants? While there are many factors to consider, it's possible the job posting itself contributed to the number of responses you received to your posting. We're here to help you today find some ways to improve your response rate. All right, so let's jump into the first section of the job posting, the job title. This is truly where it all begins for your potential candidate. Carole, what do you think when you see a job title like engineering intern?
You know, when I see a job title like this, it tells me that this is a technical position. But however, I am unsure of what type of engineer the position entails. So you may want to consider creating a title that can easily be found in a search, is short and yet specific. What kind of engineering focus are you looking for with the candidate you are seeking? You want to use titles that are widely accepted and easily recognizable in your industry. Think of the job title as keywords when you search on the internet. Consider searching online for the most similar job titles you're looking to fill, then enhance the title to make your job posting stand out from others that are similar. For example, a basic title would be Mechanical Engineering Intern. You could spice it up by adding with a biotech startup or something similar to make your job stand out in a search.
That seems pretty straightforward. That's good advice, Carole. Let's go on to our second poll. Does your company have the resources to recruit and retain diverse talent? Your options are yes, we do, no, we don't, or I'm not sure. And just so you know, we're going to provide some resources at the end of this section, so stay tuned. All right, so go ahead and respond to the poll. We'll leave it open for just a few seconds. And lots of nice siren sounds in the background. Not sure if you can hear that. We're in downtown Minneapolis, and there's something exciting happening. All right, why don't we go ahead and look at the results of the poll. And it looks like many of you do have resources for recruiting and retaining talent. Some of you are just getting started, and others are not sure, but it looks like most of you do, so that's great. Thanks for playing along. All right. Let's move on to the next section of the job description, About Us. This is where you want to tell candidates about your company. And believe it or not, I see a fair number of job postings that have very little information about the company, and they simply jump right into the job duties. Carole, why is it so important for employers to take the time to describe their company, and what kind of information should be included here?
So Jin Zhi are those born after 1995, and they're now in college. They care about making a positive impact on the world. They want to make a difference. Hence, they respond to upbeat and positive messaging and storytelling. Unlike their predecessors, employees today ask questions such as, do I feel like I belong here? Do they see themselves working for your organization? They want to engage and see themselves fully contributing, even in the early stages of their professional lives. So you need to paint a picture of what your company does and how what you do matters to the community. In the company description, you want to highlight the company's name and location, the mission of the company, the products and services you offer, the work environment, and culture of the company. So think about this from the potential candidate's perspective. What kind of questions would they have to learn more about your company? These items should be addressed in short, impactful paragraphs that evoke the spirit of the company.
So this seems so obvious, and yet it's really easy to skip this part of a job posting. Let's look at a couple of examples of good about us statements. The first one is from a company called Mobile Accept. Mobile Accept exists to support the mission of nonprofits, ministries, and churches. As the pioneer of mobile giving, Mobile Accept provides tools to cultivate engagement and generosity. Specifically, we offer mobile giving communications solutions, texts, and online apps that help keep organizations connected to their supporters. We are a small team operating out of a shared workspace in downtown Minneapolis alongside several other startups. What do you think about that, Carole?
Well, this description has really a friendly vibe. It tells you what they do and why it matters. It also begins to paint a picture of what the company does. It's short and it's easy to understand.
All right, here's another example from Adventium Labs. Adventium Labs develops solutions for safe and secure software-reliant complex systems. Our specialties include separation architectures, model-based system engineering, and mathematical analysis technologies. If you want to solve hard problems, extend the state-of-the-art, work with world-class researchers, and have the opportunity for your research to be used in the real world, Adventium is your company.
So this description briefly explains what the company does, and it entices you to learn more about them because it gives the reader insight on what they will gain as part of working at the company. So here's a template that will help you form an about us statement. You would insert the name of your company. Our mission is to. You can fill in the blank, or you could say we exist to. In this area, you're filling in your mission or your vision. We do this by providing. So you would describe your service or product. We value. Here you can list your core values. For example, a commitment to innovation and excellence. You want to create a brief conversational statement that answers these questions. What do you do? And what problems do you solve? What makes your company unique? Why should someone want to work at your organization? What is the high-level benefit of working at your company? How do you make the world a different place, a better place? What is the company culture?
This is really great, Carole. I really love the fill in the blank template. It's really helpful to see it laid out this way.
Thanks, Becky. This format simplifies the process. Here are 7 tips to create a great About Us company description. First, open with a strong first sentence. GE drives the world forward by tackling its biggest challenges. The second is show benefit to the candidate. What is a big benefit your company offers to strengthen the candidate's skills? Third, be employee-centric. For example, interns who engage on social media would be interested to know that the company Instagram is a global community of more than 1 billion users, which really means jobs here offer countless ways to make an impact in a fast-growing organization. Fourth, show your size and say why the size of your company is a good fit for the candidate. For example, a small company offers versatility, easy access to leadership, and opportunities for growth. Fifth, share your values like integrity, trust, and accountability. We have links to some resources in a bit to give you ideas for words to use. Six, employer awards. Share your wins. This can influence candidates, so toot your horn. Seven, end strong with an invitation to join your company or add your mission statement. For example, SpaceX could say, today, SpaceX is actively developing the technologies to enable human life on Mars. We will share a link to examples of well-written about us statements and other resources at the end of this section. While the about us examples we've presented are good, you know, they could be even better by describing the company culture. Specifically, providing a culture, diversity, and inclusion statement is a great way to attract a broader pool of applicants and find the best talent and fit for your position. We highly encourage you to create a culture, diversity, and inclusion statement, especially if you're looking to create and engage a more diverse candidate pool. Having this kind of statement can be a big differentiator between your company and others.
So how is a culture, diversity, and inclusion statement different from just an about us description?
This is a great question. It provides additional information about your organization to candidates beyond the basics. So including this as part of the About Us description makes a clear statement that your company values diversity and inclusion and demonstrates what kind of culture you're trying to build. And it is an additional 1 or 2 sentences at the end of the About Us statement. So here's an example of how to build a culture, diversity, and inclusion statement. Diversity and inclusion means you would fill in what it is at our company. So for example, diversity and inclusion means bringing your whole self to work at our company. The next line. It is important to us because, and then you would fill in. So for example, it is important for us because we have a better understanding of our customers. Use examples of how you are focused on achieving diversity and inclusion in your company culture and how you engage the community. For example, list provisions for employees such as space for meetups, providing volunteer mentors for events supported by the company or causes important to your employees. At the end of the statement, consider to extend a warm invitation for candidates to join you.
This is great. Let's look at a couple examples. All right, here's the first one. At Compass, our mission is to help everyone find their place in the world. This means we continually celebrate the diverse community that different individuals cultivate. As an equal opportunity employer, we stay true to our mission by ensuring that our place can be anyone's place.
So this description briefly explains their purpose and how they support their employees, why they choose to do so, and how they promise to deliver this commitment on a daily basis.
All right, here's another example, this time from a company called Gusto. Our customers come from all walks of life, and so do we. We hire great people from a wide variety of backgrounds, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it makes our company stronger. If you share our values and our enthusiasm for small businesses, you will find a home at Gusto.
You know, I like this one because it's clear that Gusto welcomes employees from various experiences as an attribute to their company. They also end with a warm invitation for future employees to consider being part of the organization's vision. Let your company culture come through in the description for prospective candidates. Help them see themselves being part of what your organization wants to accomplish.
I really like this one. I think I want to work here.
Me too.
All right, so we have some examples here for resources about writing us writing about us company statements. And I want to mention, if I haven't mentioned this already, that we created a handout. If you look in the control panel on your screen, you should see something that says handouts. There's 3 different handouts there, and one of them is a document that has all of the resources that we've got with the links, so you don't have to try to write all these things down. So go ahead and look for that. And this document is called Links to Resources from the SciTech Internship Program webinar. All right.
So on this slide, if your company is in the early stages of building an inclusive culture, there are some really great local resources in Minnesota available to help you in your journey. We recommend exploring these 3 organizations. Consider the Center for Economic Inclusion, the Twin Cities Greater YMCA, and Strategic Diversity Initiatives. Here are some suggestions for your own personal journey. Challenge yourself to increase your skills and capacity for leading through a lens of equity and inclusion by giving 1 or more of these ideas a try. Consider listening to podcasts and TED Talks specifically on the subject matter. Read How the Best Bosses Interpret Bias on Teams from Harvard Business Review. Evaluate your company's workplace culture. Consider attending local plays with themes of race, equity, and inclusion. And explore attending the Greater Twin Cities YMCA Equity Innovation Center Learning Series.
These are really great resources, Carole. You've really given us a lot of food for thought. Thank you. Okay, everyone, we've covered quite a lot of ground. What questions do you have? All right, let's see. Whoops. Okay, could you show the prior slide for a brief moment? Okay, let's go back. Is this, hopefully this is the one that you want on the challenge yourself? I think I copied all of these links into the handout document that I was talking about, but hopefully we can leave this slide up while we wait and see if anyone else has another question. Let's leave it up for a little bit. Okay. All right. Oh, the earlier one, they said, okay. Hopefully this is the one that you're looking at. This list is also in the handout on the resources from the webinar. Okay, not seeing any other questions come through, so we're just going to keep moving. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is the job duties section of the job posting. And really the best way to approach writing job duties is to be candidate-centered. After all, they are your audience.
That's right, Becky. Listing job duties helps define why the position has even been created. Clearly defined job duties will ensure a successful experience for you and the candidate. We suggest that you focus on answering these questions. What will they give? Meaning, what will the candidate do? What will they get in return? Meaning, what will the candidate learn? Who will they work with or report to? What kind of support and guidance will they receive? Why does language matter in creating the job duties? Are you using code words without realizing it?
We've got a question here. I'm going to stop. It says, is the sample job description ADA compliant with proper wording? I don't know. I guess we didn't check that. We'll have to do that.
We'll make sure.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good question. All right. Well, I do like this format. I think it's really straightforward. So let's explore a little further.
So let's start with what will they give? This is where you tell the candidate what they'll be working on using clear language. What problem will they be trying to solve? What tools or resources will they use? Who will they work with? So consider these are the day-to-day responsibilities. Next, let's talk about what will they get. This is where you tell the candidate what they will learn, what new skills they will gain and or hone during the internship. What can they put on their resume for a future employer? Let them know what benefits they will receive and what the unique experiences and advantages are from working in this position.
Carole, earlier you mentioned the term code words. What exactly do you mean by that?
Good question, Becky. So code words are simply words that are used for secrecy or convenience instead of stating what you really mean. So for example, look at the list of words on this slide. These words tend to imply that a company is looking for a specific kind of candidate and may inadvertently turn away others who are just as qualified. Consider to be cognizant of the language you are using and try to use more inclusive terms such as excellent, collaborate, trustworthy. Language matters. Make sure you are not making candidates wary by using code language or terminology that makes some people feel excluded.
Well, this is really nuanced, but I can see that there really is a clear difference on how the inclusive language makes you feel. Let's look at a couple other examples of job duties.
This example describes a job posting for an R&D engineering intern. When you look at this example, the blue areas describe what the candidate will learn while working with the team, and that's good. However, the words in red are problematic. The phrase, "you will need to hack," uses code language. Some candidates may negatively react to this phrasing, and it could be a turnoff to applying for the position. In the requirements section, there are additional masculine words such as power user and ambitious. In addition, they don't explain what electromechanical systems are, and there's no context for what the company means by the term team player. It can also be a code for "you're like the rest of us." This version shows a better way to express what is needed. The "you will need to hack" statement could be rewritten as, "we have challenging electromechanical systems where we need your creativity to help us develop alternative solutions to improve our processes." The "about you" bullet points have been rewritten to remove code words, explain terminology, and define the nature of the work in regards to working with others on a project. Here we find a better posting. The organization is candidate focused. Using conversational language, it clearly tells applicants what they will give and what they will get.
I really love this straightforward conversational approach. It's so much more approachable and less daunting. And I think this is really important, especially for less experienced candidates. Here are some additional resources that we think you'll find helpful on inclusive wording. And again, these can be found in the control panel area called handouts. So we've got some things on diversity, equity, and inclusion, job descriptions that might be driving away talent with unconscious gender bias, and words that may help or may keep women from applying for jobs. And some additional resources that we have are examples of what not to do, so poorly written job descriptions. There's one that's kind of interesting for a copywriter position called literally the worst job description I've ever seen. Something from Chegg internships, and a software engineering position from a company called NVIDIA that is nicely done. So again, we pulled all those resources together in one place. All right, we covered a lot of ground there. So what questions do you have about writing job duties? And I should mention, anytime you have a question along the way, go ahead and put it in. You don't have to wait for us to get to a question slide. Okay, not seeing anything come in, so we're going to go ahead and keep moving. We'll try to give you some time back today if we can. And our next item is to take another poll. Does your company have a formal template for writing job postings? Your options are, yes, we have a formal template, or sort of, but it's more of an informal template. The third one is, no, we don't have templates, or four, we're not sure. So we're going to go ahead and leave this open and kind of see where people are at. So we'll just leave it open here for a few seconds. And I think we'll go ahead and close it and keep moving forward. All right, so it looks like most of you are kind of in the informal template category. So I would say that having a standardized template is going to give you an opportunity to improve your company's consistency in telling your story. So if you don't have one, we really encourage you to create one. All right. Well, Carole, we've covered a lot of information in the job duties section, but it's important to take time to cover this content because it really is a crucial part of the posting. Let's go ahead and move into the next section of the job posting, the requirements section. So is this the section where a company could just put its wish list of everything they want in an ideal candidate?
Well, not exactly. There is a difference between what is required and what is desired. You might want to think about what the true minimum requirements are for the job. Does someone need to be pursuing a bachelor's degree to perform a tech support job? Or will an associate's degree work just as well? Should GPA be included as a requirement? Well, consider reviewing other internship postings similar to yours and compare. Then think about why a GPA is so important versus what the intern will be doing. Is it relevant? After you've listed the minimum requirements, consider to add a section for desired qualifications. For interns, consider involvement in student clubs or organizations, volunteer work, work-study positions, or even past summer jobs that provided leadership or organizational skills, places where they had an opportunity to demonstrate other skills that they would need in doing your job. You can also include software knowledge that is helpful to have in the position. Here's an example of a nice desired but not required section. Ways to stand out from the crowd. Software application testing experience or coursework. Experience with web application development. Working knowledge of Ruby on Rails.
Okay, what about including information about pay? Do you recommend that people include that in their posting?
Absolutely. State the starting wage and include that it's negotiable based on experience.
All right. So you've convinced the candidate to apply for your position, which is great. Do they know what to do next?
It's not obvious to candidates what your application preferences are, so you can provide direction at the end of the job posting. Be sure to include this kind of information. In other words, put yourself in their shoes. Should they go to your website? Send an email? If so, what email addresses should be used? What should they include with their application? A resume, cover letter, portfolio? Are phone calls okay? When should they expect to hear back about whether they will move forward as a candidate? What are the steps in your hiring process? Giving this information really provides transparency to the applicant. Do you conduct a phone or video interview followed by an in-person interview? What is your hiring time frame? When will the final decision be made?
So I frequently hear from interns that they don't know if the company received their materials. Ideally, each applicant should receive a confirmation email letting them know that you received their application. This is also an opportunity to let applicants know that if you intend to move forward with them to the next phase of the process, they'll hear from you within a specific time frame. Then they know that if they don't hear from you by that date, they're probably no longer in the running. For your own benefit, keep a list of potential candidates for future positions. Oops. There we go. All right. So we've got some additional resources here on writing job postings. And I think I might have skipped by a slide whether or not people had any questions. So we'll kind of pause here while you're looking at this list of resources, and feel free to post your questions in the control panel. So we've got some things on writing great job descriptions, equity, diversity, and inclusion in recruitment, hiring, and retention. Again, are your job descriptions driving away talent with some unconscious bias? And we also found a website called The Muse that is a very current and valuable online resources, and it's great for employers and for job seekers alike. So strongly encourage you to check out that blog. And again, if you are interested in all of these links, they are in a handout on the control panel. All right, well, let's move forward. I guess, is that it? We're really done?
That's it.
Wow, that went really fast. So go ahead and type questions in. We're going to be here for just a little bit longer. In the meantime, Carole, I want to thank you so much for joining me and for providing such great insight and resources on writing excellent job postings. And thanks to everyone for joining us. Our next webinar on interviewing best practices will be on Thursday, February 20th. So watch for registration information on that. If you're interested in learning more about the SciTech internship program, I've uploaded a flyer that gives general information about the program, which can also be downloaded from the handouts control panel on the right. And of course, it's available on our webpage at scitechmn.org. All right, looks like we have another question. Will you share your entire PowerPoint presentation by email? Yes. Let me know if you want just the PowerPoint or if you want the notes page version. I'm happy to provide either one. So maybe send me an email. You can see my email on the screen, beckys@mhta.org, and let me know that you want a copy of that, and I'll be happy to probably put it online with a link to it because it'll be a big file. So I don't know that it'll go through email, but I'll definitely give you access to that. Happy to do it. If you're interested in learning more about Carole's work with leadership training, please go to radianceresources.org. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but I'll repeat it again now, that you'll get an email tomorrow from GoToWebinar that has a link to the recording of this presentation. And you can also request the link from me via email if you're listening to this recording on our website at a later date. And again, my information is shown on the screen. So it looks like we don't have any more questions. So thanks again for joining us, and have a really great day.